All right, let's jump right in. In today's explainer, we're unpacking something that has literally rewired the modern workday. I mean, if you stroll through practically any office right now, you're going to see a silent revolution unfolding on almost every single screen. We're talking about the absolutely fascinating and, frankly, dual-sided nature of AI in our daily workflows. We already know AI is everywhere, right? But as we go through the source material today, we are going to uncover the massive hidden cost attached to this incredible convenience. Let's get into it. I actually want you to think about your own habits for a second here. Have you noticed just how unbelievably comfortable we've all become with these AI tools? Think about it. Just a minute ago, this stuff was pure science fiction. Now, if you're completely stuck on an email draft at 4 p.m., your first instinct isn't to agonizingly stare at a blank page anymore. No, you ask your AI assistant to kick things off. It's no longer just some wild experiment for the tech-savvy. It's become a totally standard everyday reflex for the modern worker. Which brings us to Section 1, the AI coworker illusion. Our source material points to this idea that we've totally moved past treating AI like a rigid, clunky software program. It has integrated so deeply and so seamlessly into corporate life that our actual psychological relationship with the technology has fundamentally shifted. Just look at the sheer volume of everyday tasks we're delegating now. We're firing off emails. We're taking messy, hour-long meeting transcripts and getting polished summaries back in seconds. We're analyzing giant spreadsheets that used to take days. Brainstorming, drafting complex legal and financial documents, you name it. The productivity gains are undeniable. It literally gives us superpowers at our desks. But as you'll see, that exact ease of use is where things get really complicated. Because here is the psychological trap. Since these tools are so incredibly helpful and conversational, people have started treating AI systems exactly like trusted human coworkers. We're actually saying please and thank you to a server farm somewhere. And it feels completely innocent, right? You ask a question, it gives you a brilliant answer. But this friendly, chatty mindset naturally lowers our guard, and that creates one of the biggest, most urgent cybersecurity risks organizations are facing today. And that leads us straight into Section 2, the hidden data drain. Let's look at the harsh reality of what happens when that guard drops. The core issue kicks in when people treat the AI like a buddy in the cubicle next door, simply copy-pasting information into these tools without stopping to think about what they're actually handing over. And what happens next is pretty terrifying. The sheer volume of highly sensitive data being uploaded right now is staggering. We are talking customer records, confidential contracts, sensitive internal debates, medical information, passwords, and API keys. I mean, imagine a perfectly well-meaning employee uploading an unreleased Q3 financial report just to save 5 minutes generating a summary for their boss. That right there, that is the hidden data drain in full effect. And this highlights a totally counterintuitive truth about modern cybersecurity. When we think of massive corporate data threats, we almost always picture malicious behavior, right? We picture some hacker in a hoodie trying to break into a mainframe at 2 a.m. But the real danger here isn't malicious behavior at all. The danger is the overwhelming temptation of convenience. Most employees aren't trying to sabotage their company. They're just regular people trying to beat a 5 p.m. deadline, clear out their inbox, and go home. They're just trying to be productive. But here's the catch. Because these tools feel so informal, we often forget one absolutely vital detail. The cloud is just someone else's computer. When you use whatever random free AI tool you found online, you are engaging with an external system. Now, sure, some enterprise AI platforms give you private, secure environments. But the second sensitive information gets pasted into a free, external platform, the organization completely loses visibility and control. That secret strategic business plan literally leaves your building. It could be processed, stored, or even used to train public AI models entirely out of your company's reach. So what happens when we scale that up? Welcome to Section 3, the rise of shadow AI. When you take that invisible loss of control and multiply it across an entire company, you get a phenomenon that has IT departments sweating: shadow AI. This is formally defined as what happens when employees adopt AI tools way faster than their organizations can possibly monitor or govern them. And the chilling reality for a lot of companies right now is that management has absolutely no clue which AI platforms are actually being used by their teams. Try to picture this happening at a massive scale every single day. You've got hundreds of employees. They're entering thousands of unique prompts into a dozen totally unvetted external systems. Marketing is uploading unreleased campaign drafts. HR is summarizing private resumes. Sales is running client data through free analytics bots. And there is zero internal governance, zero visibility.
Nobody is at the wheel. The company is flying completely blind to a massive, ongoing data leak, racking up unknown privacy and compliance risks by the minute.
Which makes Section 4 incredibly critical. High-stakes industry risks.
Look, this is a headache for any business, but there are specific sectors where this unregulated flow of information goes from being just a bad habit to an absolute catastrophe. Think about industries built entirely around highly regulated information. Healthcare, dealing with patient medical records. Finance and insurance, managing volatile economic data. Legal services, handling confidential case files. Once that data enters an uncontrolled AI environment, we are not talking about a minor oopsie anymore. We are talking about massive, headline-making compliance violations, crushing regulatory fines, and the total destruction of client trust. And honestly, a lot of organizations are still vastly underestimating this exposure.
So what's the fix? The knee-jerk panic reaction is usually to just pull the plug, right? Block all AI platforms on the company network. But as the source material makes very clear, banning AI completely is like trying to ban coffee in the break room. It's a failing strategy. Why? Because the productivity benefits are simply way too powerful to ignore. If you ban it, people are just going to find a workaround. They'll use it on their personal phones because at the end of the day, it helps them do their jobs better.
So prohibition isn't the answer. We need Section 5, Responsible AI Governance.
AI isn't just a neat little tech toy anymore. It's a fundamental part of modern business, and it has to be managed like one. Organizations need a clear blueprint to harness it safely. First up, you have to establish crystal clear usage policies. And I don't mean a boring email everyone deletes. I mean actual training so employees understand the real stakes. Second, set strict, undeniable guidelines for sensitive info. Third, and this is absolutely crucial, provide approved, secure enterprise AI tools. Give them a safe internal sandbox, and they won't go hunting for risky free versions. And finally, put strong data classification and oversight in place. It has to be an ongoing, open conversation about accountability.
Because here is the bottom line. Businesses that choose to ignore AI governance today are making a conscious choice to lose control of their most sensitive information tomorrow. It's a reality check that should force every single organization to pause and evaluate their digital habits. The core of this entire issue is perfectly captured in this quote from the source text. Your AI assistant may already know far more about your business than you realize.
Which leaves us with one final essential question to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. I want you to look at the workflows in your own office. Look at those conversational tools you lean on every single afternoon, and ask yourself, who really controls your data today? Keep questioning the technology behind your everyday convenience, and I'll catch you next time.